And our Washington Bureau reporter Samantha-Jo joins us from the U.S. Capitol now with the very latest. SJ, what do we expect to hear from the president tonight?
Well, hey, Tim, President Trump has been working hard on this speech, and the theme is a strong, safe, and proud America. Now, the White House has had a great deal of work in this, too, seeking input from cabinet secretaries and agency heads. Now, the tone here is really important, and we can look back at the joint address to Congress that the president gave last year, and that was very forward-looking. It was more upbeat and a big change from what we heard at the inauguration. Now, the reality of all of this is a government shutdown is just days away. The federal budget is set to expire on February 8th, and North Carolina Congressman Mark Meadows, who is the leader of the Freedom Caucus, a conservative group of Republicans, says members are getting frustrated with continuing resolutions.
We're willing to work to try to prevent a government shutdown. I don't believe there will be one, but we're willing to work with them in two ways. One is let's fund our military. We just voted today to send that over and say let's fund them at the elevated levels for an entire year. The second part of that is if we're going to grow the size of government, let's grow it at the speed of which moms and dads got pay raises back home.
Kirsten Gillibrand, I asked them about their expectations. Here's what they said.
Well, meanwhile, a controversial immigration debate is brewing here in Congress. When I spoke with members of Congress, what they want to hear is guidance on immigration. They want to know where the president is and say it in this speech. And they need to get this done by March 5th. That is when DACA recipients losing their permits. That is a Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. Now, I spoke with Senator Tom Tillis earlier this evening, and this is what he had to say.
One thing I would suggest to those who, on the left, who want more for DACA or for other illegally present people, do you really want to end in a stalemate where you give no certainty to the DACA population? To my friends on the right, I would say, do you really want the status quo, which is de facto amnesty for some 11 million people?
His inauguration to a joint session of Congress. This is his first official seat.
Well, in addition to the president's speech, we are getting reaction here from North Carolina lawmakers reacting to this speech. So, of course, we will keep you updated with the latest here in Washington. Tim?
Well, SJ, obviously the 2018 midterm election is sort of the backdrop to all this as well. Do we expect any sort of a signal for a strategy from the president on this?
He is going to be in the audience, but he is not planning to shake his hand.
Well, Tim, I think that we have already seen this. You know, the campaign arm of the Trump organization sending out a fundraising email last night asking, you know, people to donate in exchange that they would get their name broadcasted on a live stream of the State of the Union this evening. And, you know, not normally is it that we see a president, you know, campaign fundraising from his State of the Union address. It's usually, you know, a time for him to lay out his strategy, what he's going to do for the year coming forward. So, of course, you know, we're going to watch and learn and see what President Trump does in, you know, just a few more hours. Sending it back to you, Tim.
All right, our Washington Bureau reporter Samantha-Jo. SJ, thank you.